All right, y'all, buckle up because Gypsy Rose Blanchard is back in the headlines, and this time it's a full-on roller coaster. We've got parole violations, controversial medical confessions, and Gypsy herself comparing her condition to Down syndrome. Yes, you heard that right. And just when you thought the internet had moved on from her post-Malone concert scandal, we've got fresh updates on the backlash. Is Gypsy just living her best life, or is this another carefully crafted PR move? Either way, we're diving into the mess, so grab your popcorn. And hey, if you love the drama as much as Gypsy loves a good clapback, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because trust me, you do not want to miss this.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, please explain. You had shared a video that is promoting criminal behavior. Somebody Gypsy Rose is close to recently shared creators' information, personal details, making them easy to find should anybody in the public want to find this person. I think they call this doxing, which I don't agree with in any situation. But that is a slippery slope when you are on parole. I think they refer to that as a potential version of organized crime. This is just another highlight on how Gypsy Rose Blanchard is not rehabilitated. She has not changed her criminogenic thinking. But it is things like this that truly give insight that Gypsy Rose Blanchard has not changed.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is back in the headlines, this time not for her past, but for her future. The woman whose life story became a true crime sensation is now opening up about motherhood, healing generational wounds, and a shocking revelation about her health. But with Gypsy, there's always more to the story. Is she finally being transparent, or is this another carefully crafted narrative? Recently, Gypsy took to Instagram to share an emotional post about her newborn daughter Aurora. With every kiss, with every lullaby, with every cuddle, I hear my inner child, she wrote. I'm slowly starting to finally heal the wounds of a bloodline I didn't ask for through the eyes of a child I was blessed with. The post quickly went viral, with many supporters praising her for wanting to break the cycle of trauma. But others couldn't help but side-eye the situation, especially given Gypsy's complicated past and the never-ending drama surrounding her life. Despite serving 8 years for her role in the murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, Gypsy has been making up for lost time in the most public way possible. She's fresh off a messy divorce from Ryan Anderson, whom she married while behind bars, and has since rekindled her romance with ex-fiancé Ken Urker. The pregnancy news threw another curveball into her already chaotic post-prison life, and of course, it's all being documented for reality TV. Season 2 of Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup premieres on March 10th, and from the teaser clips alone, it's clear that the drama is far from over. In one clip, Ryan expresses doubt about Aurora's paternity, despite Gypsy insisting she never had any reason to question it. "If I am the father, I will do my responsibilities," he says. Meanwhile, Gypsy admits she's taking a paternity test to silence speculation. As if that weren't enough, the reality show also teases conflicts with her parole conditions, a suspicious hairbrush allegedly belonging to an ex-girlfriend, and even death threats from people who don't believe she'll be a good mother. "Let me prove you wrong," Gypsy declares.
7 years ago, we met for the first time.
I got back with the man that I truly love. We're unexpectedly expecting.
I wished she had gotten through this divorce before this happened.
The Lifetime original series returns.
Ryan texted me. He has lingering hope that I will go back to him, even with the pregnancy.
If I am the father, I will do my responsibilities.
I never had any doubts of who the father was. I'm going to have a paternity test done for Ryan's speculation.
Life is throwing us a lot of curveballs right now.
I'm still on parole, so we can't live together. What is this? The hairbrush of an ex-girlfriend. Sheriff's office. I got death threats. People don't feel like I'm going to be a good mother because of what my mom put me through. Let me prove you wrong.
Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, new season premieres Monday, March 10th at 9, only on Lifetime.
But just as the internet was digesting all of that, Gypsy dropped another bombshell. She admitted to having a rare chromosome disorder, the 1q21, one microdeletion. This revelation caught many off guard, considering that back in 2011, she denied ever being diagnosed with it. Even more eyebrow-raising, In the same breath, she made a comment about people in the Down syndrome community that some found offensive. This has led to a wave of criticism, with many questioning why she suddenly decided to acknowledge the condition after years of dismissing it. Medical experts have pointed out that Gypsy does exhibit several features associated with the disorder, including microcephaly, skeletal abnormalities, and low muscle tone. What's ironic is that some are now arguing that Dee Dee, the very woman accused of fabricating illnesses, might not have been entirely wrong about Gypsy's health conditions. Of course, this doesn't excuse the abuse Gypsy endured, but it adds another complicated layer to her story. If she knew about her diagnosis all along, why deny it? Was this an attempt to distance herself from the narrative of being a victim, or is she once again controlling the story to fit her needs? There's also the issue of genetic counseling. Given her history, many assumed Gypsy would have taken extra precautions before getting pregnant. Instead, she admitted to being concerned about her child's development only after the fact. This raised even more questions. Why not enroll in genetic counseling beforehand? Was she even aware of the potential risks? Some critics believe she downplayed the severity of her condition to the public, only to later acknowledge it when it suited her. At the end of the day, Gypsy Rose Blanchard remains one of the most polarizing figures in true crime history. Some believe she's a survivor who's simply trying to move forward, while others argue she's a master manipulator who constantly reinvents her story. With life after lockup returning soon, there's no doubt we'll be seeing more twists and turns in the Gypsy Rose saga. But one thing's for sure, whether you love her or can't trust a word she says, she knows exactly how to keep people watching.
That, my daughter might get it, she might not, but if she does, then at that point we'd have to watch her growth.
Okay.
Because it's not something like Down syndrome where the quality of life
Right.
that is associated with.
You have microdeletion 1q21.1.
Correct.
It's a chromosomal change in which a small piece of chromosome 1 is deleted in each cell. This increases the risk of delayed development, intellectual disability, physical abnormalities, and neurological and psychiatric problems, but you sort of went unscathed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Correct. So I don't display the correlations. They say, my doctor said, not cause, but correlation between the microdeletion and these illnesses.
Let's talk contradictions. On a podcast last month, Gypsy Rose admitted to having a chromosome disorder, which she had insisted affected her to a mild degree. This grabbed my attention because she previously denied being diagnosed with the 1q21.1 microdeletion. In 2011, and in this interview, she made a comment about people in the Down syndrome community, which came off as disparaging. It was interesting to hear Gypsy Rose say that she was mildly affected, given she exhibits many of the features of microdeletion 1q21.1, including microcephaly, distinctive facial features, eye problems, digestive issues, low muscle tone, skeletal abnormalities, and behavioral issues. Medical records can be hard to understand, but they cannot be faked, especially when you consider the criteria it takes for testing and treatments. I believe that every treatment, test, and procedure that Gypsy Rose attended related to her eventual diagnosis, that she was fortunate to be diagnosed before her first pregnancy. And it was Dee Dee's diligence with persisting with necessary treatments that has enabled Gypsy to be as healthy and able as she is today. I also believe that Gypsy's efforts in misleading the audience, in downplaying her condition, is a distraction once again from the fraud. This further proves she is nobody's advocate.
We have new developments about how last week Gypsy Rose Blanchard made headlines for ditching her newborn to go party at a Post Malone concert. That's right, less than 2 months into motherhood, she decided she needed a break. And when people dared to question her, she snapped back. And listen, no one's saying moms don't deserve a breather, but the way Gypsy has been talking about motherhood, yikes, she's making it sound like a prison sentence. The way she describes it, you'd think she was working a 12-hour shift in a coal mine, not bonding with her baby. And the real kicker, this isn't even the first time she's left the baby at home for a little me time.
So it's been 30 minutes so far, and we are still in line waiting.
It's been an hour.
Oh, it's been an hour. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's been an hour.
And still the line is...
Let's break down what's going on and why people think this might be a major red flag. So, let's start with what went down. Gypsy hit up Post Malone's pre-Super Bowl concert, looking unbothered as ever. At first, it was just a casual outing, but then she started posting online, and people immediately flooded her comments. "Why are you not at home with your baby?" one user asked. "You sure are comfortable leaving her all the time." Instead of brushing it off, Gypsy clapped back hard, basically saying that if you don't get why she needs a break, then you must not have kids. She went on a whole rant about how the first month of motherhood is isolating and how new moms lose their identity. But here's the thing. She doesn't seem too lost. In fact, she's been out and about a lot lately. First, she was spotted on a mall date. Now, she's vibing to Post Malone. Not exactly what you'd expect from someone struggling with isolation. Now, let's talk about how she's been describing motherhood, because that's where things start getting weird. Instead of gushing about how much she loves being a mom, she keeps calling it the grind. You know, the same way people talk about a job they hate but have to keep doing. "Back to the grind of taking care of my sweet baby girl," she wrote. And let's be real, who describes cuddling their newborn as the grind, unless they're already over it? If she's this exhausted, why is she choosing to go to a concert instead of catching up on sleep? If she's feeling so isolated, why is she acting like she's raising this baby alone when she literally lives with family half the time? The math just isn't mathing. And then there's the bigger issue. Why does she already feel the need to escape? It's been 1 month. If she's this desperate for time away now, what's going to happen when the baby starts getting fussy? When the sleepless nights really start adding up? And let's not forget, Gypsy has spent most of her life being controlled. First by her mom, then by prison. So now that she has freedom, is she struggling with the reality of being needed 24/7? Because this isn't just about a concert. It's about whether she's mentally ready for motherhood. At the end of the day, nobody's saying moms don't deserve breaks. But the way Gypsy is moving, constantly reminding us how much she needs time for herself, instead of talking about bonding with her baby, is raising eyebrows. No mention of missing her. No, "I heard her cry in my head while I was out." Nothing. So, now the internet is split. Are people overreacting, or is Gypsy already showing signs of checking out? Let me know what you think, because this one has a lot to unpack.
Taking accountability means recognizing that wrong is wrong, no matter the circumstances. And when you do this, you're minimizing your actions because you still feel justified in what you did. Growth comes, and change of a person comes, whenever you recognize the severity of what you've done. And owning the harm that you've caused without excuses. You're playing a dangerous game by doing comparison. You're trying to minimize your crime. But in both cases, a deliberate choice to take someone's life exists. And we don't justify you becoming a perpetrator. Being mistreated does not automatically give you a free pass to commit a crime. Otherwise, we would have people murdering people all over the United States of America. Because abuse happens every single day. Abuse existed in my own family when my parents were children. Their entire childhoods. And not mental, but physical. Did they get to go unalive their parents? What about the SA victims? From when they were children. The fact that you are not taking accountability for your crime and minimizing it still to this day is promoting everybody who's been wounded to unalive people. And you don't get to say whose abuse was worse. For 10 years, on and off, I've had my nose broke, my hand broke, black eyes, had a pew-pew put in my mouth. It was wrong. Does that mean that I get to go take a life? And that's if the abuse was even real. Because quite frankly, there's enough evidence to show that you had a microdeletion. You've admitted that. And every surgery that you've had goes along with every symptom of your condition. And we all know the media lies to us. It's funny how awesome YouTube and TikTok is because people band together to find the truth for it to be exposed.
The internet, of course, had some thoughts. Social media users flooded her comments, calling her out for seemingly prioritizing a night out over bonding with her baby. And in true Gypsy fashion, she had a lot to say in response. One commenter bluntly asked, "Why the F are you not home with your baby? You sure are comfortable leaving her all the time." Gypsy clapped back, insisting that her daughter was spending quality time with family and questioning if she was supposed to keep her all to myself and not socialize her with close family. Because apparently, going to a concert at night is now considered an essential socialization exercise for an infant. She went on to paint a pretty grim picture of motherhood, describing it as isolating, stressful, and an identity-crushing experience. Something that, according to her, only non-mothers wouldn't understand. Gypsy also emphasized how important it was to take care of her mental health, stating that she needed a break after a month of nonstop feedings and sleep deprivation, because nothing says self-care like jumping into a concert crowd instead of, I don't know, taking a nap. But the internet wasn't buying it. Another user called her out, saying, "You need to put a bra on and go home and take care of that baby you wanted so badly." Gypsy fired back with yet another essay about how thankful she was for her amazing and vast support system that allowed her to have a night off. She assured everyone that she formula feeds her daughter and had made sure she was fed right before she left for the concert, because apparently a bottle before mom dips out for the night is supposed to silence all concerns. Gypsy also seemed particularly defensive about her parole restrictions after someone pointed out that she wasn't supposed to be around alcohol. She quickly clarified that, actually, she can be around alcohol, just not drink it. Great distinction, Gypsy.
What time is it? Thank you so much.
Gypsy Rose continuously breaks her parole conditions. However, allegedly, now that the director of parole himself is involved, something will be done. The latest would be Gypsy Rose being at a casino. And here's the casino itself. So this was at the Post Malone concert, but still, being in the casino is a parole violation. And also, people have pointed out that the bracelet she is wearing is to show that she is of age to partake in adult beverages. And here is Gypsy enjoying a glass of wine with Ken. And even if it's just for the show, even if it's cranberry juice, it is still not a good look and blatantly disrespecting those who are on parole following their conditions. I've had several people who are either on parole or have successfully finished their parole talk about if it was them, they would have received a revocation. So why is this behavior acceptable by a murderer? This entire time, Gypsy Rose has been mocking her parole, taking advantage of the fact she's infamous, and has continued to show no accountability, no remorse, and no redemption. Even if she is on the tail end of her parole, she needs to be held accountable.
But the most eyebrow-raising part, her repeated use of the phrase, "back to the grind," when describing motherhood. Most moms talk about missing their newborns when they're away, or experiencing phantom cries when they step into another room. Gypsy? She makes it sound like she's clocking in for a miserable 9-to-5 shift at a job she can't wait to escape. And let's not forget, this is the same Gypsy who still splits time between living with her family and her husband, Ken. So how exactly is she feeling isolated when she has more built-in help than most new mothers could ever dream of? At the end of the day, the biggest red flag isn't just that she wanted a night out. It's how she's talking about motherhood altogether. If she's already itching to get away this early, what's going to happen when things really get tough? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Gypsy's version of motherhood is raising more than a few eyebrows. What do you guys think? Is Gypsy just trying to figure out life like the rest of us? Or is this another round of how can I make the internet mad today? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed the tea, or at least had a good laugh, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an update. Share this with your friends so they can get in on the drama too. Big thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.